hello. How are you today? Yeah, today is day 7 of 25. Oh, we're already 1 week in. Can you just beat that? That's interesting. It just shows, like I said, days go by quickly when you are busy. So we've got a lot of work to do today, and it's going to be a very quick one because we are talking about step 7 in the Shine YouTube monetization roadmap. All right, let me just try do this, put this off and put it back on because I want to make sure I can see all your comments. Okay, so let's go quickly into my screenshots, and then I'll take you to my YouTube studio app because I want to show you something that's very, very important. So let's go over to my screenshots. That's it. That's my screenshot. Okay. So remember yesterday, that was number 6, right? Which was talking about videos. And I told you about 3 things that you need to do to your videos. Remember that I told you about the fact that, you should try to change the file name, try to make sure that you upload through the browser as much as possible, right? I showed you to go to studio.youtube.com, enable desktop side, because some people say that's the better path, right? To upload. I've tried both. I've tried uploading through the browser, and I've also tried uploading through the YouTube app. Actually, the YouTube app is easier and faster, but you still have to go back to the back end, right? To make sure you add the end screens and do all the other good stuff you need to do. So that's just the main thing you cannot do. You can't add end screens in YouTube app. So that's one of the limitations of, using the YouTube app, right? But it's one of the easiest ways to go. But I would always advise if you can go through the browser, it's much better. It's like the native way people always upload. So why not? You can always do that. Just enable, if you're using your phone, just enable desktop side. If you want to know how to do that, go watch yesterday's live stream, which was day 6. Now in day 7, you can see we have it upload. Let me twist it around for you to see upload, right? Yeah. Now in this upload section, I want to talk about your upload frequency. Truth be told, you can decide on a frequency that fits your timing, that fits your schedule. But whatever you do, when consistency over haphazardness, you want to be sure that at least you are consistent. So if you want to do it like once in a week, stick to once a week, right? If you want to do it once in 2 days, stick to once in 2 days. And if you want to do it every day, like I love to do it, go ahead and do that. The whole idea is that you want to feed the algorithm. Remember, hey, how you doing? Hello, Liam. How you doing? Welcome on board. Nice to have you here. Thank you so much for joining. Yeah. God bless you. Everybody say hi in the comments. Say hello. Make sure you like the live stream and say hi and subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining. We are talking about how to, quickly get monetized, right, on the YouTube streets. And we have been talking about day 1, day 2, day 3, and now we're in day 7. So please go watch the other live streams, right? And then you can come back and watch this. But first of all, watch this one first, okay? So we're talking about upload frequency. Really, really key. Because if you want to keep on doing YouTube, you must be consistent. YouTube loves and rewards consistency. That is the key thing we want to talk about here in upload. Upload frequency, right, is very, very important because the YouTube algorithm loves consistency, loves it when you put in all the, keep on feeding it. Why? Because it wants to understand what your content is all about. It wants to understand what you're talking about on your channel. Now, if you're a new channel, that's the only way you can get YouTube to understand your channel. Of course, apart from all the settings, like I showed you some settings you need to make sure you do in your channel. Make sure you follow all those settings. Make sure that you upload as much as possible, frequently as possible. Very, very important. And it also helps with YouTube recommendations. And that's one of the things I want to show you here on this live stream. I want to show you what I mean by YouTube recommendations. If you want YouTube to recommend your videos to more people, because a lot of people say, oh, YouTube is not recommended. It's because, number one, you're not consistent. You cannot post and ghost. You can't post today and run away for 1 month and come back and expect YouTube to respect you. No, you've lost all the data. You've lost all the metadata that YouTube has gathered. So the more you post, if you post every day, I would suggest, if you're a new channel, try to post every single day for 30 days. And the YouTube algorithm will understand. I'm telling you, along the line between the first and probably the 15th video, one of those videos will definitely be picked up by the algorithm. You cannot afford to be discouraged. And we'll talk more about that later. But today we're talking about you choosing an upload schedule that fits your timing, that suits your schedule. If you can only do once a week, do once a week. If you can do twice a week, do twice a week. If you can do 3 times a week, go ahead and do that. Just keep to that schedule. So let me talk about YouTube recommendations. I want to show you from my YouTube app, right? My YouTube Studio app. Now, this particular video, right, was picked up by the algorithm, and you can see that it's a 1 out of 10. And I mean, for a new channel, right? I mean, getting over 700 views is massive, right? But I want to show you how this happened and where the traffic came from. Now, anytime you come into YouTube Studio, 3 things you want to check. You want to check the reach. The reach has to do with how many people is YouTube showing your content to, and how many of them are clicking. Look at it. You see here, impressions click-through rate means that out of 100 people that click, 5 people click. And that's actually the standard, click-through rate that you should expect, between 5% and upwards, right? 5% is just fine, because don't forget, YouTube is showing it to a whole range of people. So you want to be checking to be sure that your impressions click-through rate is not less than 5%, okay? So this one is good. Now, impression just means how many people YouTube showed your content to. Now, what's going to make them click is the thumbnail. Do you have a good thumbnail? And do you have a good title? That's why you have to be creating outlier titles. Remember, I spoke about that in one of our earlier, meetings, that look, you need to be having outlier titles, right? Outlier titles that have more views than the subscribers on those channels. And I showed you how to do that research. So go check, I think that should be day 3, where we talked about research and how you can actually go to the homepage and use the homepage for research. Very, very key. So then the third thing is that you have to be checking engagement. Are people really watching for long? You want to make sure that if your video is like about 5 minutes, you want to make sure at least 20% of it is being watched. That shows good retention, right? So this is where you look at, when you go to the reach, how people found you. That's the part. Can you see browse features? Hi. Thank you. Welcome. Nice to have you here. Thank you so much for joining. Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. God bless you. You can see here, browse features is 86%. That means this particular video was shown on the homepage. People saw it on the homepage and they watched because people logged in and saw it on their homepage. That is YouTube recommending this video. YouTube recommendations are in 2 parts, majorly browse and suggested. Browse means it's on the homepage, while suggested means that after you watch one, another one is being suggested to you, right? So those 2, you must be seeing that. If you don't see that and you only see YouTube search, well, that means it has to do with the keywords in your video. But really, you should be gunning for seeing browse features, as you can see here, and suggested videos. Most of these things from almost, you can see 86% and 2%. 86% means that like 88, almost 90% was done by YouTube. And that's why you should always make sure you keep on feeding the algorithm, because that's the way you will keep on being relevant and the YouTube will keep on recommending your content. Okay, so today is all about upload frequency. You need to be uploading a lot, at least once a week minimum. That is even 2 sparse. I would suggest if you're just starting out, twice a week, and that will be fine. Okay, with time you can always increase your frequency. You can always increase it. You can always batch record, right? Because sometimes people say, I don't have the time to create content. Just batch record and then batch edit. Okay, and then you schedule it. Once a week is fine if you don't have time, but I would say twice a week is better. Okay, thanks so much for watching, and I will be back tomorrow. for day 8. Okay, we are going steadily on this our YouTube journey, right? And it's gonna be awesome because all of you, by the grace of God, you're gonna get a hang of this thingy called YouTube Streets, and then you're gonna have great channels by the grace of God. All right, take care, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.